What is up, and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy flippinstoop. Hope you guys are rocking this rad dreary day out. It's actually kind of rainy day here in Michigan. I knew it was coming. Is what it is, right? So sales. We all want more sales, right? I think I'm going to go over some of the things that the reason why I wasn't getting sales. So maybe you can check and see if these are some things that you might not be doing to get sales, right? The number one thing I did is I didn't give it long enough before I started expecting sales. I think that's one of the number one things us resellers tend to do is we don't give a set number a long enough period of time to start getting whatever amount of sales you're looking to get per day or whatever, right? Number two, a lot of it's cost, the pricing, and a whole great deal of it is our titling, right? Titling, I went over this last week about the importance of the first four words in your title. Like, people should know exactly what the item is within the first four words. If I'm looking for a Nike t-shirt, I'm going to punch in Nike t-shirt men's, blah, 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 and then the details maybe after. I'm not going to put all the details in front and then do that after, right? So those are a few of the things, right? But I also want to talk about fear of failure. And I know that kind of goes off to the side a little bit, but I think it's important. I think a lot of us resellers are afraid to fail. This is why I think actually a lot of people do fail, right? Because with success in whatever you do in life comes with a lot of responsibility, right? Or we're afraid of failure because of what others might think, right? If we can eliminate these things, number one, who cares what people think, right? Just try it, attempt it. I made a lot of videos where I talked about screw what your own significant other thinks, screw what your own family thinks. Nobody's going to believe you. They're going to talk shit about you. Who cares? Just go about it anyways, right? But I admit myself that I had fear of that. I have fear of people doubting me or what they're going to think if I do fail. The truth is, who cares, right? Who really cares what the next person thinks? That they didn't even have the courage to ever try in their life, and then they criticize you on it. So who looks like the goofball anyways, right? So don't worry about what other people think. And if one of the fears that you have is, what if I don't succeed? And then what is my significant other going to think about me? Or what is my friend going to think about me? Or what is my family going to think about me? Just eliminate that. Who cares what they think, right? They're not going to pay your bills. They're not going to pay your bills. Don't care what they think, right? And I had that. I had that fear of, what if I don't make it, right? What if I don't make it and I do fail? So what? What if I did? Right? Matter of fact, I did. Matter of fact, Vic, watching on the Facebook group right now, he had a failure that wasn't his fault too. Right? Everybody's going to fail to a degree. We went over this yesterday talking about, seeking the failure because that gets you one step closer to the edge. But fear of failure held me back from everything in life. You guys, I wanted to play sports and all that, but I feared the opinions of others, right? Whether that had to do with something in my upbringing, I don't know, right? I'm sure it did. Somewhere along that lines, God gave me zero confidence to attempt things in life, right? Which, hence the fact, matter of fact, that's why I started making video content. Because I had zero confidence for exposing myself on camera. I didn't want to do it. So that was like the major reason I started making video content about 5 years ago, and it had nothing to do with eBay, right? So if we want to get higher sales, it's deeper than just what you got to do to get better sales. We all know what we got by now. If you've been reselling for a year, 6 months, you know what you have to do on a daily basis to get sales. I almost feel like beating a dead horse, continuing to talk about listing consistently, blah, blah, blah. But if you really want to be consistent and you're having a hard time being consistent, it's something deeper than eBay. It's something that's something way deeper than why you can't be consistent. That's a habit we created, right? I've struggled with that too. It's a habit we've created over time for some reason. There's a reason behind that. So if you find yourself being real consistent for 60 days and then the next 60 days you're inconsistent, there's something going on there that's deeper. And the only way, I believe, to increase your sales is to become more consistent. Now, you can be semi-consistent and pull 6 figures a year. It's up to you. But the more consistent you are, the more sales you're going to get. There's no debate about that. You even ask the top dogs, what's the number one key? Well, first of all, you got to find an item that's actually desirable and somebody actually wants it. But then you got to be able to consistently find them items, right? That's what you got to be able to do. And then you got to consistently take your photos, list your items, package your items, deal with customer service and everything else that goes along with reselling. And if you can do that, you can up your sales. But there's an underlying factor of why people, I was just watching Ed Milet, which I really like Ed Milet. He runs multiple businesses, 50, 60 some business. I don't know what it is, the exact amount, but he runs a lot of businesses. And he still sits here and admits that, he's near his 60s, right? This man has lived a long time and been very successful throughout his life. But he says he still has a fear of failure, or some people have a fear of success, right? Because, like I just said it a few minutes ago, a fear of success because we have a comfort zone. If we make much more than this, we're going to start having people holding their hands out, or we're going to start having unexpected friends, right? All the shit. You ever see that? Somebody hit the lotto, they talk to their family in 5 years, they hit the lotto, all of a sudden all their family are their best friends. The shit happens, right? So if you start getting a stacked pile of money and people can see that, all of a sudden we're gonna have some friends that we didn't have before. Well, not me, because I won't put up with that shit. Call me an asshole, I cut people right off. I don't. If I become a millionaire today, right? If I didn't like you yesterday, I ain't liking you today. Bottom line, that's just who I'm not gonna change because I got some money. That's not who I am, right? But a lot of people have a fear of success. They do, because they're afraid, maybe because you got to be held accountable, right? I can attend to that. I can raise my hand to that, because now I got to be more accountable, right? Now I got to show up every day. And there's some days I don't want to show up. So I can account to that, and I can relate with that 1,000%, right? The more you scale your eBay journey, I wish I could tell you this. The more you scale it, because this is what people are trying to sell on YouTube, and I don't buy it one bit. The bigger you scale, the more responsibility. I'm not saying from day one of you trying to list 10 items that you're not going to be able to get some better timing. But the larger you scale, the more room you have to have. The larger you scale, if you want to get to six figures, you're going to have to be more consistent than you were at, say, $30,000 a year. If you want to get to seven figures, you're going to have to be more consistent than that. It's more responsibility put on your shoulders the more and more you want to scale. And I think a lot of us, me included, I have held back from my full potential that I know I could do on eBay. I know damn well deep down inside my guts I can turn seven figures. I've seen it. If you can make damn near 15K in a month, you can do 40. If you can do 15K in a month, 10K in a month, you can do 40. Why do I know that? Because I said if I can do one, you can do two. Now I totally understand that there comes a point in time where you're gonna hit your max area, but I have yet to give myself all of eBay. Why do you think that is? Why do I think that is? I've yet to give myself all the way to eBay because I fear the responsibility that will come with that. Right now, here I am, the video content creator, and I'm admitting this. So I'm very sure that there's somebody on the YouTube channel, somebody in the Facebook group that can relate with that. Right? Somebody's got to be able to relate with that. A bigger space is my biggest problem right now. Yeah, I hear you, Vic. Now, other people are not afraid. Yeah, the bigger space. It is a huge problem. If you're in a state like me where you need a heated, actually, my clothing, I guess I am rearranging in the garage so I can fit more inventory out there. But, like, if you're selling, like, vintage electronics that are, like, that you don't want all the inside of the motherboard and the computers and cell phones and all that to get wet and humid, and if you want a controlled area, that is expensive where I live. Like, that's another month of rent every single month if you want an inside storage unit that's climate controlled. It's expensive, but fortunate for clothes, you don't really got to have that as long as you... I put my bags in a poly bag so they're sealed, so, humidity and shit can't be getting in and out and they start smelling like mildew. But that's one of my biggest things that's held me back. I have yet. When I really want to go in, like, I'm going to give an example when we declutter a house. We went in there, been out the same day, and people said that would have took them 2 weeks to be able to do that, right? When I really want to give it all the gas and go, I could get some shit done. Right? So I know personally I could do the 7 figures a year on eBay. The only thing that's held me back is I don't know if I want to be that accountable. I don't know if I want to be that responsible to do that to that degree every single day. And what's that say about me? I don't know, because I do like to have a little bit of my own time, right? I like to have a little bit of free time and be able to do something with my fiance, or put my dog in the vehicle and go take a ride or whatever, or go to the gym or whatever it is, right? I like to have some time to myself. I like to make video content, right? So with all the gas, I already know we could hit the 7 figure marker without a problem, and so could you probably within time. You could do it as well. Any one of us. Listen, I'm telling you this through and through. If one person can reach $10,000 a day in sales or more or whatever, right? So can you and I. They ain't got nothing different in them than other than me and you. The only thing that's different about them is their consistency. Now, I'm not saying that there is some different variables. Maybe some people live closer to a more wealthier area where they're getting better items and they can list them. But you can variate that too. So that person gets fine. So you just got to list a few more items than that person, and you can make it work, right? So I think one of the biggest things of getting better sales, truthfully, is becoming a better version of you. And I don't want anybody to take that bad. First of all, you got to tell your priorities. Now, if you're just shooting to be a part-time reseller, I'm not saying this has anything to do with you. Although if you did become a better version of you, you'd be able to get your part-time stuff done a lot faster than you did before, right? And I'm not just saying you. I'm saying everybody. If you want better results in your business, and I'm speaking about me mostly. If I want better results in my business, I have to build better habits. I have to become a better person. I got to physically feel good. I got to eat more healthy. I have to be more organized. I got to follow a schedule better than which I do. All those things right there that I just said will get me better sales without a doubt. Okay, the preschool part of reselling in this channel is over. Go find an item that you can make at least 30% profit on and sell it. That's preschool reselling. If this is your first time watching anything about reselling, that is not knocking you if you're trying to get into it. I'm just saying that's day 0 to 90 talk, right? There's no more need to talk about that. If you want to get better sales and you're struggling with your consistency, you're struggling with maybe you can't get organized, or maybe you're listing one day at 9 o'clock in the morning, the next day at 8 o'clock at night, the only way to get better is to set a schedule and begin to become a better version of you. If we can become better versions of ourselves, we call that personal excellence, right? We're never going to be perfect, but we all can be a better us than we are today. I don't care, give a fuck who you are, unless your name is Jesus Christ and you're walking down the road, right? Everybody can become a little bit better somewhere. And by doing that, I know this because I started doing this 5 years ago, and I lost focus. I got comfortable with the progress I made, and I lost focus, and I just been me for the past couple years. 5 years ago, I began to start doing something different. I started waking up at a certain time. Before that, I was all over the place. I might wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I might wake up at 8. Just depends on the day, right? I was all over the place with my schedule. Sometimes I'd work out. Sometimes I wouldn't. Sometimes I would go find inventory at this time. Other times I'd go find it. If you want to become the best version, if you want to become the best reseller you can be, we have to become the best version we can be of ourselves. All that plays right along with the success you have on eBay. You ask anybody that's super successful as a reseller, and I guarantee you they have a morning routine. I guarantee you they probably exercise to some degree. I'm not saying they're murdering themselves and picking, but they probably do something for their personal self daily to become a better version of themselves so they can get the best results they can, because it's a trickle effect. If you continually work on yourself, everything else in your life gets better. Relationships, friendships, you become more confident, your financial status increases. Everything increases when we increase. Nobody can argue that. It just happens. I know that. I did that for a good year and a half when I was making motivational content. Every day I was trying something different. And it wasn't, okay, I'm going to write down, today I wake up at this time and then I do this. And it wasn't that I changed my whole schedule in one day. It started like this. Okay, I haven't made my bed in 15 years. Today, I'm going to get up and make my bed. And matter of fact, there's a book on it. I think Tim Tebow wrote it. Make Your Bed, right? I could be wrong by the author, or it was sitting right next to that book. That's actually a good book, though. Like, you want to change your life, you want to become a happier person, you want to be a better reseller. Start your morning off by making your bed. I know that sounds simple, and I know it sounds stupid and ridiculous, but you know what my attitude used to be? I'm just going to mess it back up when I get in there anyways. What's the purpose of making the bed? That's not the purpose of making the bed. The purpose of making the bed is starting to handle your priorities and winning in your morning and getting a small task done as soon as you wake up so you can convert into the next task. If you can start every day by getting a task done that needs to be done, whatever that might be. I'm not encouraging you. I've heard one guy say he runs downstairs, brushes his teeth, grabs a glass of water, and runs straight to photography and eBay. I'm like, that dude's going to burn out. I can almost guarantee within time, that dude's going to burn out. You can't run right into eBay every single morning. You might be able to get away with that shit. I did that shit for 18 months. Guess what it did to me? I burnt the fuck out. I've heard that before about making your bed. Sets the tone for the whole day. Vic, you must listen and watch the same shit I do. I am telling you, why do you think boot camp, when you go to, I've been to boot camp, right? And not the good kind of boot camp where I'm going across the seas and helping keep you guys safe. I was in the type of boot camp that you are either going there or you're going to prison. And I decided to go there, and it didn't work anyways. I wound up in prison. But long story short, that's for another video. But it is true. Victor worded it perfect. It sets the tone for your day. A small thing. You want to get better sales? Make your bed in the morning. You start doing the things you don't want to do. It sets the tone for the rest of your day, like Vic just said. For those of you who wonder who I'm talking about, if you're in a YouTube channel, which is growing, and I thank you all for subscribing and liking the content, making the comments, and sharing. I appreciate that. But for those of you on YouTube, this group is also in Facebook, and Vic has been here since day one, and he said he heard the making the bed in the morning. It sets the tone for the whole day. It does. If the first thing we do in the morning, we wake up and we start fucking worrying about the day ahead of us, or we wake up grumpy, or we wake up shitty, or you're around shitty people, and you don't do anything healthy for you within that first 30 minutes, whatever it is, okay? Don't make your bed, whatever. Go drink a glass of water. But I wouldn't encourage you not to make your bed. Make your bed. It'll set the whole tone. Because if we can't do, this is another reason why they tell you to do that. If we can't do the little tasks of the day, how in the fuck are you going to tackle the big tasks of the day? You guys, I'm talking to myself in the mirror. If I can't handle the small tasks of the day, you ever been that person where you look at your laundry basket and you looked at it for 2 weeks and you don't want to touch it yet? I'm guilty of that shit. You ever be the person to take your shirt off and throw it over here where it should have been hung up because you only had it on for 30 minutes? Then it winds up on the ground. I'm that guy. Okay? Instead of taking the 5 seconds it would have took to put on a hanger and put back up in the closet, now it's dirty because it sat on the ground, and I just made myself more work because now it's got to go in the washer. Do you see what I'm saying? It sets your tone for the rest of your day. Victor, right on that. So I'm a firm believer. If nobody's going to believe this when they see eBay, or they see this on YouTube. Nobody's going to agree with it. People want to hear this. Tweak this. Tweak that sale. They want to hear the 0 to 90 days shit. But the truth is, if you want to get better in your business, you got to become a better person. And I'm not saying you're a bad person. I'm not saying I'm a bad person. But we all got room for growth. Right? I need to be picking up if I set my laundry on a schedule of, okay, Justin, Monday, 10 o'clock to 11, you're free, throw a load in, you get it done, fold it, put it up, right? You guys, this might sound like minuscule shit, but if you can't take care of your laundry, you ain't going to run a fucking good eBay business. I'm telling you, it's just like, like I said, if we can't take care of the little shit, how the fuck are we going to take care of 6 figures a year? How the fuck are we going to take care of 7 figures a year? You're not going to be able to. You're not going to be able to do it if you can't do the little tasks you don't want to do, because there's going to be a lot of tasks inside them 6-figure brackets you ain't going to want to do every day. I used to love packaging items. I don't too much dig it no more, right? It's just another part of the job. There's a lot of certain things you're not going to want to do that we must have to do, right? I don't want to exercise every day. Matter of fact, I would rather not sweat, right? That would make my life a lot easier. Not going to gym and coming home drenched that calls for me to get into the shower after I just took a shower an hour before that, right? So now I got to shower twice a day, right? I don't want to do that neither. but it's got to be done. That's David Goggins. That's David Goggins' famous saying. I don't know if you guys ever watch any of these motivational speakers I'm talking about, but watch David Goggins. He's really good. He's like 300 and some pounds. But throughout some of his motivational podcasts, he will say that. He would be like, people will ask, Dave, how do you keep running all the time? And Dave would be like, I don't even like the fucking run. He's like, matter of fact, I don't even like to shower. But I don't want to stink, right? That's another mundane task you got to do. Wash your ass. Now, other people love the shower. They love to sit in there and let the water. That's another task that gets in my way that I could have got something else done. I'm not a big fan of the showers neither, right? I got to do it. Got to do it because you don't want to stink, right? But if you're not going to make your bed, you're not going to wash your ass. You're not going to wash your ass. You're not going to list your items. You're not going to list your items. You're not going to take photography. You're not going to do photography. You're not going to be out looking for more items. Does this all make sense to you now? Want to make your bed? You want to get better sales? Start working on you. There's nothing more powerful. I'll tell you why. Because there's a guy named Eric Thomas. Eric Thomas or Eric Thompson. I forget what it is. One of the two. Whatever. You can look him up on YouTube too. This dude was homeless, eating out of trash cans from Detroit, right? From our state here in Michigan, in Detroit. And I don't know if you've ever been to Detroit, but it ain't that pretty anymore, right? It's rough. It's a rough area. He came from there, living in abandoned buildings. Long story short, the man got his life together. He is now a millionaire, okay? He went and it took him 12 years to get a 4-year degree, but he did it, right? And now he's a motivational speaker, and he's been doing it for 25 years, and he's now very wealthy. But look where that man came from. When he was homeless and living in abandoned buildings and eating out of trash cans, that man could have never been a millionaire. Where he was at right there. That man could have never been financially successful with the attitude he had right then and there, right? The only reason he is a millionaire today isn't because he figured something out me and you didn't, other than a different way of living. Other than he found a mentor that helped guide him in the right directions, right? Piss poor, homeless to millionaire. Same life. Same fucking life. Same man. Same woman. It happens all the time. What's the difference? What's the difference? They began to work on themselves. And by working on themselves, all the doors open. If you truly want to get better sales, maybe you've been reselling for 2 years, maybe you've been reselling for 5, 10, 15, 20, I don't fucking know, right? Maybe 2 months. But if you want to get better sales, start working on your morning, start working on your consistency. And I don't mean consistency just in reselling. I don't mean just keep nailing your 10 items a day. Consistency in everything you do. I wake up at 7 o'clock. I brush my teeth by 7:10. Something you do every day within a period of time. I'm not going to tell you the old 30-day lie. That's bullshit. It's not long enough to develop a habit that's going to stick with you. Okay? I smoked for 30 years. About 30 years. 29 years. Okay? I quit that habit going on 2 months ago. I still wake up. Okay, that's almost been 60 days. I still wake up and reach on the side of my bed to grab my smokes. And they're not there. And I got to fight the whole day through that, right? Alcohol and drugs wasn't that difficult for me. It was for many years. I'd quit for a little bit and I'd go right back to it, right? But this last time I quit alcohol and drugs, cold turkey, I fucking, maybe in the past 5 years, I thought a couple different, on my hands, when I see my old man crack a beer and drink it, I thought to myself, man, that smelled good and that looked good. But other than that, I don't think about it no more, right? I don't because I'm not the person that can just sit there and have a few. When I drink some beer, when I drink some liquor, you guys are going to be telling me what I did tomorrow. I'm not going to remember it. And I'm tired of waking up not knowing what the fridge I did, right, the night before. Anyways, drugs was easy for me to quit. These damn cigarettes are awful. Vic, I agree with you. Cigarettes, out of everything I've stopped doing in life, that includes being a criminal. Let me sum something up. And I'm not minimizing my actions. When I wound up in jails and prison, the only reason I wound up in jails and prison is because when I was under the influence of drugs or alcohol, I did stupid shit. That ain't giving me an excuse. I did dumb shit. I went and did my time and I got out of there, right? But nothing was harder than the cigarettes. Nothing. And I did a whole lot of drugs, right? And I did a whole lot of drinking for a lot of years. That stuff was easier because I was tired of waking up with hangovers. I was tired of waking up, my bank account's empty, and I want something I see in a store, and I can't do it, or I'm 30-some years old, and I got to call my mom and ask her if she can give me a ride somewhere. Finally, I woke up one day and I said, I'm done. And that was it, right? I was done. It wasn't easy, but it was done. I changed. And that's kind of the Eric Thomas story, right? I was just talking about, yeah, he's a millionaire. I'm not a millionaire, but I can never, whenever I use drugs and alcohol, I can never financially be a secure man financially. I can never be financially stable because it was always going to drugs and it was always going to alcohol, and I could barely even pay my bills. I'll get evicted out of houses all the time. I never had a vehicle. I was riding a pedal bike. I was just a loser, man, right? So the only way I was able to change my financial situation was by changing the person I was. I had to not be an alcoholic no more. I had to not be a drug addict anymore. And then all of a sudden I realized, oh shit, you make a little bit of money here, you invest 30% of it or 60% of it or whatever you choose to do, and then you put this up for bills, and I had to relearn, I had to learn in my 30s how money works. Because schools don't teach you that shit. Schools don't teach you finances. They teach you, go get a college degree, go work for this fucking company for 30 years, and you'll retire with a 401k, and blah, 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 right? That's what schools teach you. Schools don't teach you true financial literacy. They don't teach you how to take your $100 bill and turn it into $1 million in 5 years. They don't teach you how to do that. Why would they want to do that? They want to keep everybody dumbed down. And I'm not saying you're dumb. I'm talking about myself too. They want to keep everybody right here so we can keep paying them a ridiculous amount of taxes, and the government can be in power, because as long as we, or a large majority of the United States, has to rely on the government for food assistance, housing assistance, this assistance, that assistance, guess what? They're in power. That might have been a crazy left field conspiracy, but that's my feeling of it, right? So you're gonna have to become if you want better sales, become a better person. And I don't want anybody to take that the wrong way, because people are so sensitive these days, right? Like fuck, man. Can we just be people and love each other? Like, all this bullshit you see on TV about white on black. Come on, man. That's just not... I'm in public all the time with Saginaw, Michigan has every different ethnicity there is in the fucking world in that little city. Okay? I'm in public every day. Not one person of a different skin tone has walked up to me and said a racial slur or treated me like shit. That shit don't exist. The media is pumping that out to keep us separated. But anyways. So... after that long rant I just went into, the truth is, don't take that offensive when I say that. If you want better results, become a better person. Go listen to some of the top billionaires in the world. They'll tell you the same thing. I'm not a billionaire. I'm talking to myself right now. If I want better results, I got to become a better person. I don't handle stress that well, right? Here's another one of my flaws we can discuss. I don't handle stress that well. So if I want to get better results in the business world, nobody wants to deal with a hothead that's going to fly off the hinges at any moment, right? Nobody wants that. People that are looking to hire people out here in the world are looking for people that can handle stressful moments. It doesn't even matter if you got a college education anymore, man, unless you're going to be a heart surgeon anymore. You got the biggest companies in the world, Amazon and shit. They'll hire you without any of that. There's a place down the road for me that makes microchips, one of the biggest ones in the United States. It's called Hemlock Semiconductor, and they make poly, and they provide the majority of the poly for circuit boards and stuff like that for electronics, right? It's all for electronics, building computers, building radios, building this electronical device. Anyways, but they got them all, things like that. They are not asking for a college education. They want you to be able to handle pressure, right? So that's one thing I've had to work on a lot. I used to just fly off the hinges. Somebody look at me weird. It was on like Donkey Kong, and I was going to jail, right? Or I got my ass kicked, or I kicked their ass, right? You know how many times I've had my ass beat because I said some stupid shit to the wrong person that knew Kung Fu or some shit? It's kind of funny. It's funny thinking about it now, but man, when I was a young kid, I'll give you guys a short story about that, matter of fact. I was at a Taco Bell parking lot. It was after bar hours. After this short clip here, I'm going to have to wrap this up because I got to get my ass back to work. Me and a few buddies of mine. This is funny. This is for you all that have some humor. If not, you may as well just shut me off now because this is going to be humorous. And I don't want anybody to get offended. So we're leaving the bar about 1-ish, right? We want to make it to Taco Bell because Taco Bell, where I'm at, closes at 2. So, mind you, we're in a preppy little town with Shields, Michigan. It's like a preppy, they walk around with their nose up, that type of shit, right? We're in a little town like this, and we pull into this Taco Bell, three of us, all buddies. I was really in shape because I just come home from being incarcerated, right? So me and my buddies pull up, we go into the drive-thru, and I look ahead of us, and there's a bunch of young kids throwing gang signs. Gang signs in a preppy little city, okay, at us. And here goes my attitude. Like, I'm drunk. At that, I told you guys who I was when I was drunk. I didn't give a shit if you were 10 foot tall with a billy club. I would have ran right up to you so you could have knocked me out. Like, I was that stupid, right? So we pull up to this Taco Bell, we're ordering our food. The kids are throwing gang signs out the window, and here I'm hanging out talking shit, right? Finally, I said, piss on this, and got out of the car. I walked up, right, and I decked the dude. He was right in his car, still throwing gang signs, calling me all this kind of shit, right? So I decked the dude in the car, and I thought he went down. He felt limp, right? So I turned around to go back. This dude got out of the car. He was only about this tall. And within about 3 seconds, he hit me about 20 times. Kung Fu, G.I. Joe Kung Fu the shit out of me. Laid me right out on the Taco Bell parking lot. Like, my buddies had to get out of the car and come get me. Okay, there's Taco Bell. You got Taco Bell right here. Let me try to do this. You got Taco Bell right here and Myers right here. By the time we got to Myers, I couldn't see out of both my eyes. That dude, G.I. Joe Kung Fu the shit out of me. You never know who you're messing with. Just the word of the wise. You never know who you're messing with, right? So that was an old 20-year-old story. That was one of my stories from a kid where I got beat up and I thought I beat him up, right? So that was pretty fun. But anyways, if you want to get better sales on eBay, become a better you. If we become better us's, guess what happens? Everything else in your life gets better, right? Even if it's something as small as, I don't feel that healthy today, so today I'm going to walk an eighth a mile. You start doing that every day, you're going to mentally start feeling better about yourself, and your mental energy is all predicated on what you do throughout your day. If you ain't getting shit done, you're going to be on all kinds of medication. Like, if you just sit on the couch and you don't get nothing done all day, all you do is sit around and you procrastinate about everything. Why do I know this? Because I used to procrastinate everything, right? If you do that, you will be depressed within time. You will feel this good about yourself. We, as people, feel good when we accomplish things. Remember, you hear me talking about it a whole lot in videos that the key to happiness is progress, right? If you continue to make progress on eBay, you're going to be a happy reseller. If you've been stuck for a long time and you're not making any progress, you're going to be a miserable reseller, right? That's just the truth. That's everything in life. Like, if you're stuck financially, you've been stuck financially, I mean, unless you're making millions of dollars a year. But if you've been stuck in a financial area where you feel like you're not going anywhere, you're not going to feel good about yourself. You kind of plateau out. You ever get to, we've all done it. I've done it myself. You ever get to a point where you're like, just kind of plateau? I've talked about doing that on eBay. I got comfortable at a certain amount of money coming in every week because we could live on it comfortably and put money back into inventory and so on and so forth. And I got comfortable there. Right now, I am now working, trying to work that back up. Our goal is $15K in a month, and I've been working on that now for about 2 months, building it back up. Because what happened to us is I got comfortable. And when you get comfortable, you actually start degressing. Your sales will start going backwards. Because you'll start saying, oh, well, I got till to start. This is my habit, right? Instead of getting up and having a routine like I was just currently talking about, I would wake up and do everything I wanted to do throughout the day first, and then I'd work. Don't do that, man. Don't do that. Take it from me. You want to talk about a failure that doesn't work? That don't work, man. Don't be going to the beach first and do everything, everything first. I'm not telling you to do what I've heard a guy do is run straight and brush your teeth and then go straight to listing or taking photos. Man, I don't know, but eventually that gentleman is going to burn out. I don't know. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's like superhuman and he's just cool with doing that. I don't know. But me, I could not wake up and just go right to work. Right? That's what I did for years when I worked a 9 to 5. I'd wake up with just enough time to brush my teeth, right? Just enough time to get clothes, and I was flying out the door. I never liked work because of that, right? I never loved my job because I was rushing to get there. Why? Because I hated my job, right? So learn your lessons from me, right? If we want to become some of the best resellers that we can be, we got to become the best version of us. Like I said, the preschool, and listen, when I say the preschool stage is 0 to 90 days, I'm not knocking anybody in there. I'm still a preschooler to a lot of people. There's people that's been doing this shit for 15, 25, 30 freaking years. I'm a baby to them, right? So I'm not saying that in a derogatory way. But if you want to get better sales, it's deeper. It's way deeper than just finding the right items. Because if your consistency is off, you can find all the right items in the world. But if they're not getting listed, what are you doing? Actually, you're going backwards because now you're buying inventory that's just sitting. And that trend, if you're doing clothes, that trend might switch. And now all of a sudden you bought something that was in style 90 days ago, and today it's not in style no more. Right? So I think the best way to do it is begin to work. And I'm doing that today. I'm still working on myself daily. Something. It doesn't, it might not be something major, but it's something different. My water intake is 8 bottles of water a day. I know I need to work it up to 10 bottles of water a day because of the supplements I'm taking, or I'm going to be dehydrated. It's going to be unhealthy, right? But I'm working on that daily. It doesn't have to be something big. Like I was talking about the 8th mile or the exercise or the waking up and reading something positive instead of jumping right into your cell phone. All those little, it's those little things, or like Vic and I was talking about, waking up and making your bed before you do anything else. Those little accomplishments is what leads you up to getting the big accomplishments in life. It is literally that. It's little actions lead up to the big reactions in the future. It's your boy flippinstoop. You guys have a rockin' rad day. Thank you all for watching. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, share the channel. And do me a favor, like or dislike. Thanks a lot. Vic, thanks for watching in the Facebook group. And anybody else did, you guys have a rockin' rad night.